Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. It's been 1 week since you looked at me, cocked your head to the side and said I'm angry. 2 days into the last podcast and something, so I say I'm sorry. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken, you get the flu and the economy stops ticking. Now we're all stuck inside with no lights on. Bars, ladies and gentlemen, made no goddamn sense. Listen, sometimes that's one of those songs I only know a few lines from. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Getting Wild on a Wednesday. Bars. That's one of those songs I only know a few lines of. It's been... I could sing that better. Listen, close your eyes. Close your eyes right now, ladies and gentlemen. And just listen to this. It's been... That one wasn't that good. I had the pressure. It's been... Perfect. That one was perfect. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. You thought the bare naked ladies were in the room with you. Okay. Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. I know that line. Because it's the finest of the flavors. That's the original rap god. Samalama dumaloma, you assuming I'm a human. Watching X-Files with no lights on. We're dancing la maison. I've never even read these lyrics, but it's so weird. Hold it now, watch the hood wink. As I make you stop, think. You'll think you're looking at Aquaman. I summon fish to the dish. All I like to chalet Swiss. I like sushi because it's never touched a frying pan. Hot like wasabi when I bust a rhyme. Big like Leanne Rhymes because I'm all about value. Burt Camfort got the mad hits. You try to match wits. You try to hold me, but I bust through. What? This was the 90s, man. You could say whatever the fuck you want to do, and if it sounded good, you got yourself a hit. We're talking Jimmy Top, yeah, You didn't even bop is like a placeholder for when you're making a song. You're like catching the beat a bit and you're figuring out the cadence and you're just like you're just like bop 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 Timmy Top yeah. And they like recorded that and the producers were so stupid they're like, sounds fresh to me. And everybody was so dumb during that time with listening to that kind of music that they were like, slap that shit on a record and put it on repeat, baby. You know? Gonna make a break, a take a fake. I like to stink a naked shake. I like vanilla. It's the finest of the flavors. Gotta see the show, cause you'll know the vertigo is gonna grow. Cause it's so dangerous, you know. You have to sign a waiver. How can I help it if I think you're money when you're mad? This is honestly, I know I'm talking shit about this song right now. I love this shit. Even just singing it right now, there's some songs, the nostalgic value of them. So I'm sorry, Bare Naked Ladies. You had a bigger hit than I ever had. You know, obviously I sing that song almost every time someone says, it's been. I'm the person that interjects that when everybody's like, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. And then I'm like, oh, sorry, go ahead with your stupid story that I probably don't care about. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming in hot. We're coming in hot on a Wednesday. That's what we do. We get wild on Wednesdays and we come in hot on Mondays, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to play this. I wanted to start sharing some of my favorite fucking videos. That's not it. No, that's not it. This is one of my favorite videos. Hopefully you can hear the audio. I'll add it. On the internet, this is one of my favorites. If you haven't heard this, this is a voicemail. You almost need to watch the video. This is a voicemail that was left on someone's voicemail. And it's a gem. And it's something, I say this to friends that are in the know all the time. When I leave voicemails, if I leave you a voicemail, there's a 2 out of 3 chance that I'm going to leave this voicemail.
Hey, sorry I missed your call. I was just calling you back to let you know that I love you and I miss you. I really want you to call me back. And I'm sorry I missed your phone call and that I know you're done. So when you get this, can you call me back?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming in hot on a Wednesday. That's what we do. We get wild on Wednesdays and we come in hot on Mondays, ladies and gentlemen. So I know you're done. So when you get this, can you call me back? So when you get this, can you call me back?
I love you, and I miss you.
You have to watch the video because someone made a video putting it to car sounds, like the car video, and when it accelerates, it's like a car driving by to the sound of her. Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of those videos that sticks with me all the time. I love it, ladies and gentlemen, and you should love it too. But you can't not feel bad for that lady, okay? Whoever she is, she knows that he's done, but she just loves him and misses him, and she's part wolf at the end of the day, you know? But at the end of the day, you got to tell people, listen, I don't think that story's over. I think more is going on there because he called her and she missed the call. So he's obviously still involved, and that's where she saw her opening. This is what you call a Hail Mary in the end of a relationship. You know, I assume by the way that she is completely throwing herself down like Dobie, just completely surrendering, she fucked up. That's the sound of a cheater. All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sound of someone who's just like, hey, I know I'm guilty and I know you're done. Listen, you close your eyes, you hear that? Think you're in the room with a wolf. Your boy's got them pipes. Listen, she knew this was her last chance. He called me. He's still into it. He feels a little bit vulnerable because he called her, obviously, and she was like, time to do the full court press. We're about to Brady and Gronk this shit right now. And she went for it. And I'd like to think that they worked things out after that, you know? But maybe not, because it ended up on the internet. So he's like, man, fuck this bitch, you know? And if that's the case, good for him, you know? You never stay with a cheater. But I love that video. I love sending it to friends. It's one of my favorite things. This is another one of my favorite videos. And again, I send this, at the end of the day, I just try to have people let me bang. Okay, if you're my friend, if you really know me, you're going to let me bang, bro. And my friends that know me, they do let me bang.
Let me bang, man. I want to do that, man. Let me bang, bro. I do. I do. Let me bang. I do let you bang. Hey. Let me bang again, man. I let you bang. I let you bang. Let me bang.
Shout out to Sam Alvey.
Let you bang.
Oh, man. I remember watching this live on television when it aired, and it's like, whew. This is one of those things where if you ever had a drunk friend or someone who's just really fucked up and they just start saying a sentence so you agree with them just to be like, hey, it's okay. That's what's happening here is let me bang, bro. He doesn't know exactly what let me bang means. He doesn't know what bang entails completely. Obviously, I don't think he means it the literal of like, let me fuck you, bro. Unless that's the thing, because he hugs him emotionally at the end. But he's going to let him bang. I think the way I live my life is let me bang, okay? Let me bang, bro, all right? And you got to have bros that do let you bang at the end of the day and don't judge you for banging. And that's just another gem. And I think you guys should live your life by that as well. That's one of the things. Life is short and you want to bang, okay? Slap it on a t-shirt and sell it for $19.99. There you go. Life is short, let me bang. And here's the funny thing about this video is he lets him bang, but he wants him to let him bang again. And he says, I do let you bang, bro. So he wanted to bang for a second time, which now you're just getting selfish. You know, you're getting cocky. Someone lets you bang once, you got to take that as a win. What I always say is, I let you bang once, shame on you. I let you bang twice, shame on me. You know how that goes, right? Everybody knows how that goes. Good times, ladies and gentlemen. Good times. Those are two of my favorite videos of all times. of all times, kind of like all time. Crazy shit, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot what story I was going to tell with that. I don't even remember. I've been around. Listen, and here's actually what's crazy about that video is those are all, and that's why it's like it's kind of diffusing. Those are all trained professional fighters in that house. If you don't know, that clip is from The Ultimate Fighter, which is a show for the UFC. You're welcome, Dana White, for the plug. And that man is a very skilled fighter. In a room full of regular people, that is a wolf amongst sheep who he could just have his way with completely in a drunken rage. In that situation, it's not very bad because they're all wolves. And I'm sorry to use these super bro-y metaphors, but it is what it is, because at the end of the day, I bang and my boys let me bang, okay? And this is where it gets dangerous, and this is something that happened. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but I was at a party. I'll keep some things vague, in Hollywood. Gross. And it was a house party, and I knew a lot of people there and everything, and this person comes in, and they're like, I can't even say the name, but they were on this show, and they were the craziest person on this show of all time. If you have Google, you can figure it out. And when I see this person, I have what you call a wolf sense, okay? I just have something built into me where I know when there is a werewolf in the room. I can just feel it. I remember when I was younger, we swam at a completely ghetto pool growing up, my swim team at Corson Pool in Palmdale, shout out the hood. And I remember knowing moments before when things were just gonna go bad. I remember when these people tried stealing a dog from me. I was walking this family's dog. They brought their dog to swim practice, and I was like, oh, let me play with your puppy. So they were like letting me play with it and walking around the park. And these kids came up to me, and they tried stealing the dog from me. And I remember they just wanted to fight me, and like we're starting shit. And I got in a fight, and I like got jumped, and I didn't lose the dog though. But I've always had that sixth sense of when things were just about to get bad and when it was time to leave. It's like the butterfly effect where you're just like, and then you know something's about to happen. And I'm at this party and I'm like, okay, shit just changed. It's going to get bad right now. And this person walks in and he starts, everything's cool for a second. He's being super nice to me, super nice to everybody there. And he's drunk. And I'm like, fuck, I know where this is going to go pretty soon here. There's going to be a flip. And you know how in, I think it was like a Fishtail or something like that cartoon movie like Nemo or some shit, where fish are friends, not food, but then he gets a little bit of blood up his nose. So then his shark eyes go from regular eyes to just completely shark, like black eyes. And that's what I was waiting for to happen. And something happened where this person slaps a girl in the face. Just like, I don't know what happened. I wasn't in the room, but I'm there in an altercation. And one of my friends starts pushing this shady character, not realizing who he's dealing with, because the bomb hasn't gone off completely yet. And I literally have to end up choke holding my friend to get him away from this person before all hell broke loose. And then luckily the guy realized that shit was getting out of control, and his buddy took him out into the hallway, who was also another professional fighter, and side kicked him in the head. And then he was on the ground. And that was the end of the story, where we left. We were like, all right, fuck this shit. We're out. Super entertaining podcast story, right? But it was the opposite of this feeling. This person wanted to bang, and we didn't have the faculties to allow him to bang there. There was too many sheep, There was way too many sheep going on. Wild. That is the worst when you're in a situation where people aren't aware of the dangers that's around. I don't know if I've gone into my times about Puerto Rico and living there, but your boy lived in Puerto Rico for about 3 years, and During that time, I dated and everything. You look at your boy. Your boy dates, okay? Not anymore. Fiance frowns upon it. But at the time, I was dating this girl. Things were serious. Listen, Puerto Rico does something to you. It turns you into a novela, like just a Spanish rom-com. No, not even a rom-com, like those serious novelas, like Telenova, and like where you're just all emotional and super in love and everything. That happens in Puerto Rico. And I was in this relationship with this girl, and we broke things off, and your boy was down in the dumps and just heartbroken and everything. And what do guys do when they get out of relationships? They're willing to make some risky decisions, you know? I met this girl, and she wanted to go to this club / pool room in the Casa Dio, in the ghetto. And your boy normally would never go there, okay? Not really my thing. I don't like putting myself in bad situations where people can bang around me without my approval of letting them bang, you know? But your boy was down in the dumps, and he was like, yeah, I'll go hang out with them. I'll be with them. They're locals. And we'll figure it out. And keep in mind, I lived in a place. This was also a funny part of this. I got tricked by the girl I was dating because we were dating when I lived in Puerto Rico, and then when I went home for summer, and I was in California, so I moved out of my place. When I went back to school, she helped me find a place. She put me like 30 to 40 minutes away from school, but really close to where she was. So there was no tourists. It wasn't like a nice side of Puerto Rico. It was okay, but it was like, there was some bad pockets in there. Some bad pockets where I saw tourists get their windows broke in their car just for stopping at the gas station. And your boy, thank God, I blend into the culture. I look like I'm there. My eyebrows are all done up. I got a nice low fade, everything. I'm puertorriqueño, boricua. Tú sabes, ya tú sabes. And I have to pretend like I don't give a shit that these fucking Americans just got their shit broken because you're in the wrong part, cabrón, you know? And so I go to this nightclub / pool hall kind of thing where there's music playing. Listen, music's playing everywhere in Puerto Rico. You go to the goddamn grocery store, there's going to be people dancing in there like it's a fucking nightclub. So dope. But I go there, and I instantly can tell this. And maybe the girls, they're just cool with this. This is their thing. I'm there with 2 attractive girls, and there's not a lot of other girls there. And I can tell there's like a machismo like thing in Puerto Rico where it's like, it's very primal. Okay, I don't know if you know this, but at least at the time when I was living there, the women outnumbered the men like 3-1. This is just a weird fact about Puerto Rico at the time, is that, and girls were very competitive. Like, it was weird. Where like, if you would be with your girl and like walking through Plaza Las Americas, shout out like the mall, and another girl would try to get you to look at her. Like, it was so fucking weird and primal and like this weird disrespect and all this stuff. And it was just a weird environment. But the guys were like that too. They were very like, it was almost like a bird colony of just like, you're always so flashy and just, So there's weird primal hierarchies there, more so than in the States. And these dudes keep looking at me, and I'm trying to be very passive with it and everything. And things start like, guys are getting weird and mad dogging me, and the girls are dancing and being like bringing a lot of attention to them. I didn't really know them that well, and it wasn't good. And they seemed like they were not that bright with their surroundings, because I'm like, even if you guys are cool coming here, you have to know that this situation is changing. And all of a sudden, and we're in like a top floor. It was like a second level. And it should have been a red flag, because I had to walk by this crazy bouncer who didn't even search me when I walked in. He was wearing a wife beater and a big cross and all like everything. Didn't even search me and only looked at my ID. And I was like, okay, well, that's a red flag. Sorry, I gotta check this real quick. So it's the situation is getting weird. It's getting tense. My werewolf sense is going off, and I tell the girls, I'm trying to tell them like, hey, I don't really like, let's go somewhere else. And they're like, no, está bien, like dancing and all this shit. And I'm like, all right, we need to leave now because these dudes are like getting weird with me. And the girls finally kind of realize it, but they're taking forever. And I'm like, let's go. And the guys are almost getting weird because they don't like me, and I'm about to take the only real like girls that are there dancing away. So it gets real weird in two different ways. They're trying to bang in more than one way, if you know what I mean. And I go down the stairs. The girls are following me, but they're like just being stupid. It's almost like in one of those dreams where you can't run and you're trying to sprint and run away, but nothing's happening. That's how I felt in real life. And these dudes start following us, like 5 or 6 dudes. And my heart is racing. And I'm like, this is fucking terrible. So we're like, it's like 4 corners where this place is at. So then I start crossing the street and going to the corner of where my car is. And I'm like, let's go. And then now the dudes are like whistling and like running after us. So I literally have no choice. I'm like, oh, okay. Like there's nothing I can do because the girls like stop and everything. And they're just like freaking out now. One of the dudes comes up to me and he starts talking real fast Spanish. And listen, your boy at the time, I can understand a little bit. Or I can actually understand a lot of it. But like he's talking so fast and so like just so much crazy shit's happening that I can't really understand him. And then I just know he's calling me insults and all this stuff. And then the dude pulls a gun out on me. And he's holding it aimed at me. And I'm just trying to like, up until that moment, I'm literally just like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just trying to leave. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do anything. I didn't know what I even did. And the dude's just holding the gun on me. And I literally can't say a word. Like, it was insane. Like, I'm just standing there looking at the guy. And I'm not saying, I'm just like, not even trying to be tough. I'm just like, I don't know what to fucking do right now. And his friend is trying to pull on him. And he's just like, nah. And tranquilo, papi, tranquilo. And then he's pulling on him. And the dude starts smiling and starts laughing at me. And then I'm just like, I still can't say anything. Like I'm literally shaking. And the dude starts laughing and then he puts the gun down and they walk away. They go back in there. I was so fucking pissed at the girls. I just dropped them off and I went home. And that's the end of the story. And that's how I almost died in Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why, listen, you have to trust your werewolf sense. You got to know when things are going bad. And you just got to get the fuck out. And that was one of those times where I got very lucky. Sometimes you zig when you should zag. Gonna have a bad time. That's why to all my young kings out there, okay, listen, I feel like I am getting to a point, my age, my life, where I'm like, listen, I've been through that. If you're in your 20s, listen, especially early 20s, you're 20 to 25. Listen, I know, I've been there. It ain't worth it sometimes. A lot of the shit that you care about don't matter, okay? You gotta live to fight another day. Don't go meet up with that weird girl on Tinder, okay? Don't take that risk. Sometimes when it seems too good to be true, don't do it, all right? I got in a relationship before Tinder, you know? And I don't know if there is really, from what I hear about dating apps, I feel like they don't work out that well. At least that's what I hear. Maybe it's people trying to tell me that, like, just to make me feel better about my life. There's like, nah, man, it sucks. But I feel like that's one of those things where people always think the grass is greener on the other side. You know, like you're just gonna. I don't know what's happening to my goddamn microphone. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway. Yeah, crazy times in Puerto Rico. I'll never change them though. Okay? I would never change the experiences that I've had there. And just the good and the bad times, because it's not all just good times there, you know, and it's not all bad times. There were some of the greatest moments I've ever had in my life were in Puerto Rico, dancing on some fucking beach somewhere, smoking some mota under a coconut tree on someone's boat, staring at the bioluminescent bay, you know, salsa music in the distance. That's why it's a trip now, because I was like, you know, I think at that time I was like 22, 23, And it's gotta be terrible for people who are around that age right now with everything shut down, you know. And I know there's some things you can do, but it's important to travel and to have those experiences and really like take chances, you know. I don't think anybody is ever going to have regrets by taking chances. I think that's the only way you grow, and the way you, like, I think your brain actually grows and like you have new pathways and understanding when you uproot and you make those big changes, you know. You actually take chances and risk it all, you know. That's partly why, you know, I think Texas is a good move for me for a few reasons, you know. I love doing stand-up comedy. I love it. It's probably it's like fucking, excuse me for that burp, that was disgusting. It's like Cinderella with the glass slipper, you know. It's like nothing ever fit like that. And like it locked in the place where that's like the art form. Like that's what I do that works the best fit for my skill set and like just the way my brain works. And while that's been the case, I never really liked LA. I never really fit in with like a Los Angeles mindset of the comedians there. You know, there's great comedians there, and there's a few that I really like, you know, smaller comedians, bigger comedians. I don't mean that physically, some of them, but there's like a whole vibe to LA and the whole scene where it's like everybody's just trying to be so fucking cool. And I've always hated that shit. And I'm hoping that this Austin comedy scene, you know, I hope it sheds that, where it's like, no, we're not trying to impress anybody. We're not here to try to be an actor, so we're going to do comedy, and we're not trying to do this. And we didn't just fall into this. We're here because we want to actually just create comedic shit, you know. That's what I'm hoping, and I hope that's the merit of it, which is why I'm excited, because while I didn't really like the LA scene, I wanted to just pursue comedy. But I've been living in, you know, Ventura because, you know, I hate LA. It's so expensive there, the smog, the overcrowded, everything. So when I heard that Austin was going to be a big hub for comedy, and probably, I really do think it's going to be the biggest comedic boom in the next 5-10 years, I would say. I'm very excited, because then when I can go to Austin, I just go full frontal nudity, let me bang bro, with stand-up comedy and podcasting and videos, and just put the whole boat on the fucking water, you know. And I really believe, if you've ever heard that quote, in burning the boats. You got to burn the boats. You got to say fuck it. You can't keep one hand on the wall if you're trying to swim to the other side. Water bars. And you really have to commit to it. Like, that's why I'm just like, all right, fuck it. I'm moving there, and I'm just going full bore with this, because I think if you get too stagnant, if you stay where, you know, either you were born or, you know, where you grew up, and you don't get introduced to new environments and new ideas, it's terrible, you know. And I think, especially getting back to my main point, if you're in that 20-25 range and you don't really have a lot of responsibilities, really think about moving and getting out of your hometown. And you know, you can always move back. I don't like this idea of people talking shit about their hometown once they leave. I love my hometown, the Antelope Valley. I fucking love it, and for a few reasons. Mainly because that's just home. That's like so much nostalgic to me, you know, of the sunsets and everything, the weather. But it's like that place shaped me, my work ethic, and the hard times, the good times, and so much memory there. But it's like, that's where I came from. And no matter what, you can't pretend you're different because you left somewhere. And it's like, it's too fucking low-hanging fruit for people to try to talk shit on their hometown when they leave. It always just like, ugh, you weirdo, you know. But you definitely should take a few a few years, travel, at least go to college somewhere else. Especially when you're young, you don't have kids, you're not in a serious relationship. Even if you are, just fucking do it together, you know? Quit your job. Take risks while you're young enough to still make them, and you don't have a lot of commitments like a mortgage or, you know, kids and things like that. I think it's huge. You gotta find out what you enjoy doing, and then like repeat that process over and over and over again, and you'll be successful at it. And I think that's the secret to life, kids, is just finding out what you enjoy doing and just repeating that shit over and over and over again. And I think part of the thing, there was always a great quote about people, you can never see the steps going forward. It's almost like you take a step and the next step appears after it. Like you can't trace the dots forward, but you can trace them back. And a lot of times I do that with my life, is I look back and I go, wow, if I hadn't made this decision and this small thing or moved here, I would have never done this, and it would have never led to me doing this, you know? That was one of the things with Puerto Rico, is deciding it on like a whim of like, I don't want to do the traditional college thing. I don't want to just swim, you know? It was my college coach who actually convinced me to go to Puerto Rico. I was going to swim for Cal Poly San Luis Obispo and get a fucking degree in electrical engineering. That was my major. And it was either that or I go to Puerto Rico. And I reached out to my college coach, and he said, hey, dude, this is my dilemma. What do you think I should do? And he says, well, Evan, do you want to swim the 400 IM for another 2 years? Or do you want to go to Puerto Rico and sip pina coladas? And I said, say no more, fam. I literally have the email. When he passed away, I went back and read that email, and I just like went through some of our old emails, and it's like so crazy to see that. So that's why I'm just like, man, if you're young and you have the opportunity to do something crazy or different, you got to do it. And sometimes it doesn't appear like that, where it's like you get a fork in the road where you are forced to make a decision. Sometimes it's just like, fuck this shit, I'm not doing this anymore. And then you move, you know? That's what you got to do, baby. That's what you got to do. What kind of current event do we got, ladies and gentlemen? McDonald's are doing a Pokémon 25th anniversary, aka a 25-year cash grab. Listen, apparently all the adults are ruining this anniversary, because this is why millennials were such shitheads. They're buying dozens of Happy Meals at the same, like they're buying them all up so the kids can't even have it. We're a bunch of grown ass kids, you know? This is why you can't tell your kids they're too special, you know, because then they do shit like this. They go out and buy 24 Happy Meals, so no actual kids that go there can get the Happy Meals, okay? And then people are selling them. I fucking hate scalpers. I hate scalpers in every sense of the word. It should be illegal to resell certain things. Like there's a huge thing with building computers right now where people are just scalping all the parts. You know, supply and demand. But like, this is what I hated when I saw this during the holidays. People at Costco were going in and buying literally the, what are they called? They're not the regular carts. They're like the ones you push. I know people who work at Costco that listen to this podcast are just like, it's called a da-da-da-da. But anyway, they had at least like 200 of these little blankets and like shit like that, where you'll see those like American Girl dolls, and they'll buy them by the pallet. Maybe pallet is what I'm thinking. But fucking scalpers, I just hate them. I'm like, you're really not going to allow anybody else to get these just so you can resell them on eBay? Come on. Let me bang, bro. Let me bang. But I'll be honest, if there is something that is nostalgic to me as a kid, Pokémon. I used to wake up. Listen, this is how you know I loved Pokémon. I used to wake up when I was homeschooled at like 7 a.m. just to watch Pokémon. And I'd go sit on my parents' bed and turn that tube on. and I'd be sitting there in my fucking tarantanas just watching Who's That Pokemon. I love that shit, you know. My dad would wake up at like 6:30, watch his stocks or whatever he was looking at, and I'd sit there with him, and I'd be in my tarantanas. I had my own fake stock portfolio when I was a kid and everything with fake money in it, and we'd look at the stocks, seeing how we were doing, and then I'm gonna catch 'em all. You like how I just made up my own version of a Pokemon song that wasn't even real? I love that shit. I wanna be the very best. You know how I know I was the very best? Your boy was in a Pokemon league at Toys R Us. Rest in peace, Toys R Us. But my brother Sean and I, we would go every Saturday to Toys R Us, and we'd play our Pokemon cards in this Pokemon league. And we got pretty far up in the Pokemon league, okay? To the point where your boy was a Pokemon gym master, okay? I don't mean to flex that hard on a Wednesday, but you gotta let me bang again, okay? Because I'd gotten so good, I became a Pokemon gym master within the club. Like, people would come to me if they want. You had like your own little pamphlet of things like you could do within the Pokemon League, and you had to battle me if you were trying to get a certain pin, okay? You had to battle me, and if you beat me, the Pokemon League would give you a pin, okay, that you beat this prestigious Pokemon master, okay? I hate bragging like that to you guys, but and to the women, listen, I'm sorry if it was just a complete gusher, all right? It is just what happens when you find out someone's a Pokemon master, all right? And I remember one time, this is what's craziest. They should have an age limit. There was an older man in this Pokemon League, like 50 or 60 years old, okay? And he would play Pokemon with us. And listen, I thought at first he was there to fuck us, but reality, he was just there to fuck us out of our Pokemon cards. He would try to get you to do the worst trades ever. Like, he would be trying to get you to get your rare cards. I remember one time, and this is why I'm like, maybe he was there to do some strange shit, because he told me he was trying to trade me like a bullshit Rat-a-tat or something for my fucking holographic Charizard, okay? And I remember this, I quote, I'll never forget what he said. He said, listen, you help me out today, and I'll help you out later. And I was like, this dude is trying to blow me for my Charizard right now. And I missed that Charizard. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Bars. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun episode, right? I let you bang. I told you that I love and I miss you. I did see they're trying to raise the minimum wage to $15. I'm not with it. I'm not with it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be, listen, this whole thing, stimulus, check updates and all that stuff, it's great. You know, people need money and, you know, we need to help people through this time. But it's just a weird thing to stick that in there. Do you realize what that's going to do for inflation? And what that is going to do for the job market? It's going to kill it. It's going to completely do away with so many entry-level jobs for people. And it's not only going to do that, it's going to force companies to avoid such an overhead of paying these entry-level jobs. It's going to boom automation. We're literally by raising the minimum wage to $15, you're going to automate people out of the industry. Bars. You're just going to completely remove them from it. And it's going to be so many businesses closing, and it's just going to completely automate, and it's going to take jobs away because they won't be able to afford that. There's just no solution to that, okay? And it also is, I saw something that, and this was a great thing. I think there is a fix. There is a solution. Something needs to be fixed, and I think it has to do with student loans, forgiving student loans, because the quality of education and the promise of jobs there's been an indirect correlation with the quality of jobs available versus the quality of education and the inflation of student loan prices. So while while the education system goes down or stays the same, if you want to be nice, and the job market keeps decreasing, why is the price of education skyrocketing? It makes no sense. And then you're putting people in a crazy debt once they graduate, and they don't have that good paying job or a good paying job to be able to pay off the student loans. So then they get wrapped up, and now they're no longer spending money because they're repaying student loans. I saw a proposal about what they should do with student loan debt is make it tax deductible, which I think is phenomenal. If you're able to deduct your taxes, your student loans from your taxes, obviously you can deduct the interest, but I think that's a great incentive. Make it a tax credit. And then completely, I think just getting away with it. I think there's incentive to having a lower minimum wage. You shouldn't be able to, you shouldn't make a career out of scooping up popcorn. You shouldn't be paid, I don't think, $15 an hour for it. For a kid that's 16 years old to be making $15 an hour for a minimum job, a lower entry job, because I think the real fix is lowering the cost of education. Because then those people actually can get better paying jobs as they proceed. Dude, I think there's some lessons to be learned in having shitty jobs. I think it's like a rite of passage. We shouldn't just be trying to do this whole, it just doesn't make sense. And it's just going to collapse the economy. What the fuck am I? I'm not some fucking financial advisor, analyst. Dude, I don't even balance a checkbook. Never had to, That's funny. That's what like old people say. These kids don't even know how to balance a checkbook. Yeah, because my bank account does it for me. I have an app for that, sir. It's been automated. Just like all these jobs are going to be automated if we go to $15 an hour. Bars, ladies and gentlemen. Bars. And ladies and gentlemen, I love you. Thank you so much for showing up today. I love you and I miss you. And maybe next week you'll let me bang again. I love you.